everybody, this is Linda, and I forgot my mic again. Sorry about that. I've been off for a week, so I forget all the processes I got to go through before I record. Well, I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. Let's talk houseplants. Today we're going to talk about Chinese evergreen. The plant you see behind me is one of many Chinese evergreens, and it will be one that I'll bring up today to show you. I'm going to show you only two that I have, and then I'll show you some pictures of the array of Chinese evergreens. They are a gorgeous plant with all kinds of variations of variegation, all different colors, and they are very easy to grow and take care of. They're ideal for a beginner because they're so easy. Just give them light, bright light if they have variegation. And if they are just green, you can pretty much give them anywhere in the house, low light, high light, doesn't matter. And water them when they're dry and feed them every now and then, and they're happy. If they do have variegation, just give them bright light. Don't give them direct sun, but bright light, and water and feed. They're happy. I have two here. I'm going to show you now, if you'll just give me a minute. Okay, this is a Chinese evergreen, and it is just drop dead gorgeous with the variegation. There, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, this is a crappy camera. It's getting all blurry up front.
Anywho, Jamie likes to put these things right inside the camera.
The other cameras have better resolution.
Anyway, this has red stems, red veins.
That's a piece of paper.
Anyway, the red veins and the red stems and the dappling of red throughout the leaf. It's just a gorgeous plant. We had to turn the green screen off so that it would show the plant because it was confused. Now we're going to show you another one that's the exact opposite look. Jamie, you'll have to hold that one. That's too heavy.
I call it the trash plant.
This is one of the... This is what I bought at Goodwill on my first trip with getting all the beautiful pots. Isn't that gorgeous? Well, it's actually a
trash can.
A trash can. But this plant is beautiful. It has white variegation, very narrow leaves, and it's a slow grower, but it's a very easy plant to take care of. Don't get too close because it gets blurry.
This is very heavy.
All right, you can set it down now. So when you choose a Chinese evergreen, they'll probably have the technical name, and don't ask me to pronounce it. You know me, I cannot pronounce anything that ain't Southern. But anyway, if it says Chinese evergreen, and most of them that you buy in the stores will just say Chinese evergreen, it won't actually tell you the other name for it. So if it says Chinese evergreen, you're going to have a plant that is going to be easy for you to take care of and give you so much joy because of its colorations. Now, I'd like to get to another topic of, you remember the elephant ears, Jamie? I'm going to get Jamie to hand me one that I showed y'all, and I want to tell you what happened to it. All right. You remember this plant? How beautiful it was and how it had um, a new leaf on it. I'm going to show you the picture of the new leaf and then what happened to the new leaf. As you recall, this plant had this beautiful brand new leaf coming out on it. What?
Whenever you need to, move to the next one.
Oh, this beautiful brand new leaf coming out on it, and it was, before it got it a little bit of color in it, it was transparent. And then, as you can see here, it started turning the red, and a little bit of green was showing up as it was getting chlorophyll. Well, I took it from my bedroom. It looked just like that. And I took it into the living room and put it in front of the living room window because I needed the space where it was for another plant. And the next day I went in there, and this is what that new leaf looked like. It was dead. It was pitiful looking, and I don't know why. It may be that that the air conditioning vent was over here to the left, and it was blowing this way. And none of the other plants ever had a problem with that vent, but this one, I don't think liked it at all. Now you can probably see right here looks like, not there,
Oh no.
here.
Oh, you mean this little bitty part sticking up?
Yeah, that.
Hold on.
That looks like it's a new leaf. And I don't know if it was affected by the, you can put it back, I'm finished.
All right.
I don't know if it was affected by the cold air or not, but we'll find out. So I wanted to tell you that because to show you that some plants are extremely sensitive to everything. Cold air for these tropical plants is a killer. So keep your tropical plants away from where your air conditioner duct is blowing. A lot of my tropical plants, they've been in that spot for years and it never bothered them. But these exotic ones, which is, they've never been in those spots. It's the older plants, the big plants, they were okay with there because they kind of climatized to it over the years. But this one, going from my bedroom into that air conditioning unit, it just couldn't take it. I believe is the reason that leaf died, and I'm not sure if that new leaf is dead too. We're going to see how that works out. Now that's also called an elephant ear, but it's called an African mask, and it's a aluminium. See, I can't pronounce these names, but anyway. The other elephant ear that we couldn't think of the name of it, and we found out it's an elephant ear, I want to show you, Jamie. We've got two new stems coming out on it. That one and that one. So I've got to repot this as soon as possible because it is outgrowing its pot. So these elephant ears, they have a rhizome or bulb, and those rhizomes and bulbs, they will divide, multiply. And the elephant ears seem to do it really big, really fast. I had that out in the backyard. Remember, I had that great big one. Let me pull you up the picture so you can see it. This is what I had in the yard. And if we're right about the one that I just showed you, this is what it is. And this is how big it will be, maybe. being in the house, they don't grow like this out like it does outside. But it does grow fast and it grows a lot, so I'm going to have to transplant it soon. So it's a lot of work raising houseplants, right? Unlike in my day, back in 1970 when I first started raising houseplants, you put them in soil and you water them, and that was it. But now we've got all these exotic plants that have such a neediness to them that it is a lot of work now. You've got to give them special water, special food. For instance, these exotic plants do not like tap water. So you got to give it filtered water or reverse osmosis water or stuff like that. And these exotic plants don't like chemical plant food, like Miracle-Gro. So you got to feed it organic plant food like fish emulsion. Some people have fish tanks, and I used to do this back in 1970. I had numerous fish tanks. I raised all kinds of gorgeous fish. And so what I would do is I would water them through emptying the water out of the fish tank. That way I get to put fresh water in the fish tank, and my plants get fed by fish emulsion from the fish tank. So a lot of people are doing that now. A lot of people are using worm castings. And here's something I just found out, so I want to share that information with you. I ordered some worm casting last month, and I've used it all because it was a small bag, 1 pound bag, and I have a lot of plants. And I sprinkled some on the top of the soil, so when you water it, it dissolves and goes down into the soil and feeds the plant. And then I learned that you can make tea out of it and feed the plants with, the tea. So I thought, well, that's easier for me because these plants are thick and it's hard to get the stuff on top. So I said, well, I'll do it that way. So you soak the fish emulsion. Why do I keep saying fish emulsion? You soak the worm castings in water for at least 24 hours, and then you pour it in your plants. And so that's what I've been doing. And so when I was ordering some more there I said it again. Worm casting. I was reading comments because I had learned that not all worm castings are the same. A lot of these worm casting companies will use a lot of fillers, sand and gravel and stuff like that, and very little worm castings. I found that out after I had already had the one off the wall brand because it was cheap. So I said, okay, so I'm going to have to get good stuff. So I looked up what was the good stuff, and it was wiggly worms or something like that. I don't know. Went on Amazon and I was going to order it, and I was reading the comments, and I noticed that 2 or 3 people said, be careful, this stuff causes root aphids. And I said, oh no, I can't afford to lose all these plants to root aphids. So I did some more research, and everybody else was saying how wonderful their plants were growing beautifully. So the research I found out is that if you use too much worm castings, it will cause root aphids. So that looks like what those 2 or 3 people may have done is put too much into the soil. Because what you do is when you're going to repot it, when you're going to repot the plant, you mix worm castings in your soil and then plant your plant in there. Well, it looks like they had put too much worm castings in their soil, causing the problem. So the other people must have used the right amount. So I said, okay, well, I used way less than I was supposed to in the other worm casting anyway. So, and if you make tea out of it, that probably erases any avenue for root aphids to come in. So I said, well, I'm going to order the good stuff, and which is 100% organic and has no fillers in it, and that way the plants will get full benefit of the worm castings, and use it as a tea, and that way I don't have the problem with the aphids. Now, why worm castings? Worm castings, what is it? It's worm poop. These worm farms feed good dirt with all kinds of good stuff in the dirt to these worms. And then the worms poop and they gather that poop up, and it is extremely full of nutrients for plants. Now, a lot of people say you can use the worm casting and fish emulsion. But I'm not going to buy more stuff. I'm just going to use the worm casting. So if you're really serious like me in wanting to raise a lot of gorgeous plants and you want them to grow fast and thick and beautiful and larger leaves, you need to give it the right kind of food, the right kind of sunlight or light, and the right kind of humidity. Those three things will give you those great big beautiful lush plants that we all want. So I tell you all this so that you will know, okay, if I'm getting into houseplants seriously, I have to understand this is going to be work, this is going to be costs, and am I ready for that? So if you just want to have a few house plants in your house, but you don't really want to get really involved, then, just treat them like any other house plant and hope they live. But that's the way these new tropical plants are. So there you have the lesson for today on Chinese evergreens. They're very easy to grow, and on what to do, how to keep your plant from dying on you overnight, keep it out of cold air, and how to make them grow to be luscious, feed them, humidify them, and give them plenty of light. And those three things I think will be very useful for you in your raising houseplants. Okay, guys, there you have it. I'm sorry that I missed Saturday, but you know my story. So there you have it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.